Hey, it's Michelle coming to you with some kitchen inspiration. I'm making Chinese food for dinner tonight and I thought I would share. So I've got 2 skillets ready on my stove top here. I have my 10-inch stainless non-stick skillet and my 12-inch stainless non-stick skillet. The 10-inch, maybe a year old. The 12-inch, 15 years old. Look at them. They look identical. Now the bottoms, you can tell the bottom of the 10-inch is nice and shiny. The bottom of the 15-inch is not, but that's okay. The inside, where it matters, is still in perfect condition. I absolutely love these pans. I can't say enough about them. They are worth their weight in gold. Okay, so what we're gonna do is so first I'm gonna put together the chicken lettuce wraps. Oops, I think I gotta adjust this. Okay, so I'm going to use my twist and chop. And actually the first thing I need to do, I have the ground chicken here and it's defrosted. So I'm going to drop it in the frying pan and turn it on and let that start working. Okay, second step. Start prepping the other things. So I need an onion. So I love this twist and chop because not only does the blade twist like this, but it also moves up and down while it's twisting. You're gonna see how amazing it is. All right, so quarter your onion, drop it in here. What else goes in? 3 cloves of garlic. Forgot to take the garlic out. I always forget something. All right. Funny, I thought I had everything out, but I forgot the garlic. All right, take a couple cloves of garlic. I just like to cut them in half. And we're just gonna squeeze these right into here and let them do their thing. Okay, so that goes in there. Oh, and then there's one more ingredient that needs to go in here. Actually, we'll probably, no, I'll put it all in one time. The next thing is a can of water chestnuts, okay? So I grab my smooth edge can opener, put it on the can until it grabs it like that, and then just spin till it clicks. There, it clicked. I'm gonna spin it just a couple more times to make sure it goes over the hump. It's still holding on, let go. Then you're gonna use this little bird beak with this thumb piece and lift the lid right off. Now it's filled with liquid, so I'm going to drain it. All right, I'm gonna drop these right in here. Okay, now the twist and chop will not do anything. It will not even turn on until your lid is on. If I put my lid on, but I don't lock it, it's still not here. See no lights? Watch. All of a sudden my lights are blue. Okay, so it's a safety mechanism so you can't hurt yourself. All right, you ready? 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9, 1,000, 10, 1,000. 10 seconds. Chopped everything up perfectly all at one time. Okay, I'm grabbing my twist and chop. No, mix and chop, excuse me. Mix and chop. This one's the old one. It's pink and gray, but in the catalog right now, it's black because that's the normal color. This was a special thing for years ago. But it's the exact same tool, just a different color. But I love the twist and the mix and chop because you can take your ground meat and just like beat it up while it's in the frying pan. It doesn't scratch your frying pan, and it does a beautiful job getting it nice and done. So this is chicken. You can do it with turkey, sausage, ground beef, whatever you want. Okay, another ingredient that I forgot to grab. I purposely tried to grab everything before I started, but I always manage to miss something. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start the fried rice. And I'm taking a couple tablespoons of butter. And I'm going to put it in the bigger frying pan here. I'm gonna turn it on. And we're gonna melt a couple tablespoons of butter in here. Now the key with fried rice, you're supposed to use old rice because technically this is, you know, old housewife food, right? Leftover at the end of the week, whatever we have gets thrown in the pot. But, you know, I didn't have old rice. So what I did was earlier today, about 2 hours ago, I made a batch of rice so that I could make it into fried rice. So you can use fresh rice. Technically, you're supposed to use old rice, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Give that a cute little chop. So I made Royal Blend rice. It's red, black, white, and brown, okay? It's all the different colors in here at one time, which I like. And see, this cooled off, so it's all solidified, so I'm just gonna kind of chunk it up. Get this butter coating the bottom of the pan. Fried rice is not low calorie, but it is delicious. Okay, so we're gonna drop all this rice in here and let it start working its magic. Okay. So the key to good Chinese food is using all the right sauces. That's really important. So I've got a couple different sauces here. I've got oyster sauce. It's made for oysters, I think. I don't think it's made of oysters. It's not in English, so I couldn't tell you that answer, actually. I've got hoisin. I have soy sauce. I have sesame oil. I have rice vinegar. And I'm out of one of my ingredients, and I didn't know I was out of it. And that is gochujang, which is like Chinese chili sauce. And I'm really mad that I'm out of it, but I'm not going to the store now, so I'm going to substitute some crushed red pepper, because it's basically red pepper sauce, okay? So I'm hoping it'll taste pretty good with that in it versus what normally goes in there. Okay, so we want this rice to start frying, okay? We want it to start getting crispy. So we put the butter in the bottom to give it some flavor, but we want it to start getting crispy. So I'm gonna leave it in the pan and I will give it some stirs once in a while. Okay, so now that my chicken is cooked, I am gonna put a little bit of olive oil in there. And a little bit of my sesame oil. That's not it. This one. Okay, so we'll put a little sesame oil in. Sesame oil is a really important ingredient in Asian cooking. It just makes everything taste really good. A lot of times you add it at the end of the cooking because it's kind of like a condiment on there, you know. But for this recipe, you add it right at the beginning. All right, done with that. Now I'm going to put this mixture, which was onion, garlic, and water chestnuts. Okay, put those in there. The water chestnuts give it a really nice crunch, and they kind of make it lighter in flavor, which is nice. Okay, and they're not actually a nut, so if you have a nut allergy in your house, you can actually eat water chestnuts. I know they're called chestnuts. I think it's just because they look like them, but they're actually like a vegetable. Okay. So that's working. I'm going to rinse this out so I can reuse it. This is actually dishwasher safe, the Twist and Chop, but I always hand wash it. You saw how quickly that worked, right? Let me rinse my blade too. Very simple. All right, this is starting to make those crackling noises, which is what I want it to do, because that means it's toasting the rice up nicely. All right, there we go. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start working on the ingredients for the fried rice. Oh, actually, I forgot something, so we're gonna back up for a minute. And I'm going to grab but this was my last piece, so I gotta make sure I add it to my grocery list along with the gochujang. Okay, I'm sure I'm saying that incorrectly, and I apologize. Okay. Let's pop that in there and see if it'll chop that up by itself. I'm not sure if it'll do it in that little bit, but we're gonna try. It generally likes to be kind of full, but it did a good job. See that? That's pretty good. All right, we're gonna put that into our chicken mixture. This makes all the difference. I'm gonna use ground ginger in the fried rice, but I really like fresh ginger in the chicken. It makes a huge difference. All right, I need to turn this down. It's up way too high. I don't want it to burn, but I want it to get crispy. I may need to add a little bit more olive oil since I had it up too high. Actually, I didn't have olive oil in this, but now I do. I don't want it to stick to the bottom. Okay, we're gonna start adding the veggies. So, I'm gonna put in an onion. Whoops. We're gonna put in some carrots. That's 2 cloves of garlic, so we're gonna put those in. This is my 5-inch Santoku knife. It's my favorite knife in my kitchen. It's from our Forged Cutlery set, which is our knives with the lifetime guarantee. If you like the black handle, those are the Forged Cutlery set. If you like the gray handle, those are the Foundations knife set. The Foundations knife doesn't have a Santoku, but it has all the other ones. They both have a lifetime guarantee, and they're made the same way, so they have the same kind of blade. Oops. Didn't cut this piece well. Okay. Pop that in there. Let's do this again. Ready? Eight seconds. Carrots, onions, garlic. This thing is your friend. All right, we're gonna put those in here. Gonna use that again in a minute. So we're gonna try to get these onions and carrots chopped up and ready to go. One of the things I love about fried rice is that it has all your veggies in it, so you don't have to eat veggies separately, right? All right, let's add the sauces to the other recipe. So we want 1/3 cup of hoisin. I'm gonna use my Measure All cup. This one's pink. They're not usually pink. They're usually white. It was pink for a promotion years back. Whoops, I guess that's not open. I don't know why it didn't come out. Hoisin is similar to teriyaki, but it's not quite as sweet. Okay, so hoisin, a couple tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. One tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. If anybody wants this recipe, send me a message and I'll be happy to share it with you. And we're gonna put, my fingers are all dirty now. In a second, I gotta rinse them. We're gonna put a pinch of crushed red pepper in, since normally I put in about 1/2 teaspoon of the chili garlic sauce. I can always adjust that. All right. Key with this recipe is get all the sauces in here and then just let it like stew while you're making the fried rice, okay? Because then the chicken picks up the flavor of all these sauces and it comes out really, really good. And then you can serve it with some lettuce leaves, just like they do in a restaurant, chicken lettuce wraps. Very easy to make. Okay, we're just gonna turn that on to low and let it sit there. See how we're doing in here. Looking good. All right, so we're gonna add some more veggies to our fried rice, right? So I got some mushrooms. Just gonna cut them in half so they fit in here because these guys are giant, giant mushrooms. Give those a quick whirl. one piece that didn't cut, but the rest of them are ready to go. We're just gonna pop that one back in there with the next round. Probably just overfilled it, which sometimes happens. Mushrooms in there, and then I've got a zucchini. Now I basically just use whatever vegetables are in my house. Sometimes that's broccoli, sometimes it's zucchini, sometimes it's string beans. I take something green, I throw it in, okay? It's not an exact science. Put in whatever you like. Again, this was housewife food, right? End of the week recipe. Whatever's left in the house gets thrown in with the leftover rice. Every culture has some housewife food, right? End of the week housewife food. I got a couple big pieces of zucchini in there. So in Ireland, it was Dublin Coddle, which is a soup made with all the rest of the ingredients that are there from the week. In Italy, they make a lot of beans at the end of the week. So in my family, it was pasta fazool. So to share with me in your family's culture, heritage, what is your housewife food, right? My father says that my grandmother served tuna fish at the end of the week, okay? So it just really depends on, you know, what's left in the larder, right? Okay, put that in. We'll put those in a minute. Okay, so the last couple of ingredients to go in our chicken lettuce wraps is some green onions. Again, this is another thing that I do, which is like, when you buy green onions, you always have to buy a lot, right? And the recipe always calls for 2. 2 or 3 this recipe calls for. So you know what I do? I cut them all up, I put them in a bag, I put them in the freezer. Then I have them when I need them, and I don't waste a bunch because I don't like to waste things. So this way I don't have to buy it every time. Like, I didn't know I was going to make Asian food today. I decided at the last minute because this is the ingredients I had and what I felt like eating. So other than the gochujang, everything else was already in the house. Okay. Let's start adding some sauce to our fried rice. Can't get this off because my hands are all slippery. There we go. Did not want to move. Oh, it's glued on. That's basically what happened. All right, so we're gonna put in about 1/3 of a cup of oyster sauce. I always wind up adding more sauce at the end, just so you know, because I like it really saucy. And 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. Where did my tablespoon measure go? Here we go. Don't over soy sauce. If anything, err on the side of less. And I always use this low sodium because soy sauce is really, really salty. Okay, and you don't want your food to just taste like salt. You want it to taste like the other flavors, okay? All right, and I need to put in some powdered ginger. I'm out of regular ginger, but I actually use powdered ginger for this recipe anyway. I'm gonna put in 1/4 teaspoon. And my garlic is already in because it went in with the other things. So I'm gonna give this a good stir. And then I'm gonna add the last ingredient. Once I've got it stirred up real well. I am gonna throw those zucchinis in at the end, but I didn't think you guys needed to see that. So I'm gonna put in a couple tablespoons of butter right in the middle. I made like a hole in the middle. I'm gonna put a couple tablespoons of butter in there. And then I've got a couple of eggs. So I'm gonna break a couple of eggs into here. I just scramble them in the pan. I know you can scramble them ahead of time, but I don't do that. I just scramble them right in the pan. They come out perfectly fine every time. So we're just gonna kind of let them cook in here until they look like scrambled eggs. I will keep stirring them. and at the very end, this recipe calls for a drizzle of the sesame oil right at the very end. So that was basically my recipes. I hope you enjoyed them. And if you liked watching me cook these recipes today, please make sure you hit share so your friends can see it on your timeline and they can watch it also. But also allows you to save the recipe so you can go back and reference it later. And you want to make sure you follow me if you're not following me on Michelle's Kitchen Inspiration on YouTube, because that's where all of my recipe library is, okay? So if you want to go back, and there's hundreds of recipes there. You can look at it anytime and get recipes. You can also follow me on YouTube. Well, I said that already. Facebook and Instagram, Michelle's Kitchen Inspiration. Thanks so much. Let's take a look. So this is our fried rice. It's almost finished here. Just cooking the eggs up. And here's our chicken lettuce wraps, which smells really good. Can't wait to eat this. Thanks for joining me. I hope you guys have a great evening.